Welcome to my 19th video. Once again, I am struggling with figuring out what to talk about. So I'm going to do the only thing that has ever worked for me in making these videos. Give up and just let God do the talking. Every week I commit time and energy into figuring out what to talk about. Every week, whatever feeble idea I had gets completely deleted and God takes me down an entirely different path. Apparently, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 means it when it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." Once again, this highlights the nature of my current struggle, showing there is no such thing as an intellectual relationship with the Lord. I have known this verse since elementary school. Yet somehow my arrogance about my intelligence has caused me to miss the point of this verse. The verse is clear that I will continue to struggle on my journey for as long as I continue to resist the emotional nature of a relationship with Christ. Verse 5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, not trust in the Lord with all your mind." It goes on to say, "Lean not on your own understanding," which I don't think requires a whole lot of explanation. Now, verse 6 continues by saying, "In all your ways submit to him." I had to think about this for a while. God is asking for submission in all our ways, which means intellectually and emotionally. Now, note, the verse does not say disregard your own understanding. It says don't lean on it. In other words, don't make it foundational to how you operate, because if you do, you will wander and may never get where you are going. So to me, what the verse is saying is regardless of whether you operate purely out of emotion or purely out of intellect, you will wander. This brings us to the final phrase, "He will make your path straight." What this says to me is that by submitting to God and focusing our emotions and our intellect on what God wants, He will clear a straight path that is easy to follow. Don't misunderstand me. I said easy to follow, not easy to travel. So now, as I apply this information to the information I got from my last video about working the process, I see just how much work is in front of me. This talk about submitting to God got me thinking about submission. What does it really mean to submit emotionally and intellectually? Well, submitting emotionally is not really a topic I'm qualified to talk about. So that leaves me with talking about intellectual submission. Well, I had an epiphany. People cannot submit intellectually without also submitting emotionally. Have you ever had a disagreement with someone, and no matter how many facts and examples you gave, they would not concede the error in their thinking, only to have the discussion end in the other party engaging in ad hominem attacks as they seem to become more staunch in their opinion? In this example, the leaning on their own understanding caused an emotional response to their understanding being challenged. So as I see it, until there is submission of both emotion and intellect, there can be no progress.